over $114 million. Wow! How does that sound? Ooh-wee.
Winning the lottery often pushes people into spending sprees on things they don't actually need. Some rush to buy luxury cars, others take off on expensive vacations, and many blow it all on random purchases, only to end up broke again. But not everyone makes those mistakes. Some lottery winners handle their fortune with surprising wisdom from day one. Today, we're diving into the mindset of these smart winners and revealing the first things they do after hitting the jackpot. Let's find out what sets them apart. Let's get started.
Number 15, Brad Duke.
I really felt good about how everything was going. I had that moment where I'm gonna be successful.
Brad Duke is probably the smartest lottery winner of all time. The man was a 33-year-old fitness instructor from Idaho back in 2005 when he hit the jackpot in a way that would stun anyone. He used to play the lottery regularly, but like most people, he never really thought he would win big. Then one day, while stopping for gas, he decided to check his Powerball ticket. The clerk was shocked to find out that Brad had won. But Brad didn't know exactly how much. Clueless about the amount of the jackpot, he took his ticket and left before the clerk could even tell him he'd won $220 million. Brad found out about it a few days later that he wasn't just a few $1,000s richer, but instead was a multi-millionaire. The only person he initially told it to was his dad. Together, they mapped out a plan to invest the money. Brad's big dream was to turn his millions into $1 billion. He got right to work. He put together a team of the best financial advisors and lawyers to make sure his new fortune didn't just slip through his fingers. And guess what? By 2016, he had increased his wealth by $100 million. And that's not all. Today, he has a net worth of over $1 billion USD. So yeah, his dream did come true, all because he acted smart with his money, very much like this next winner on the list. Number 14, Sue Herdman. This is the incredible story of Sue Herdman. After winning $1.2 million in January 2010, the former hairdresser from Eardisley near Hereford chose an unusual path. Instead of wasting her money on fancy things, Sue pursued her passion for pig farming. Previously, she was a hairdresser. She was struggling financially as a single mother. You'll be surprised to hear that winning the lottery didn't change her practical nature. She continued to hunt for bargains and invested her winnings in property rather than splurging on extravagant items. Although her days now start at the crack of dawn and involve working knee-deep in mud, Sue's found happiness in her new rural lifestyle. She has the money, she just doesn't like to show it off. She perfectly shows the world how winning the lottery doesn't have to lead to a glamorous life, but to one of fulfilling personal passions. Number 13, Cynthia Stafford.
I kept believing it. I kept seeing myself holding that check and knowing that it was going to happen, and it did.
Cynthia Stafford's success story started with luck, but she carried it with hard work afterward. In 2007, she won $112 million in the California lottery. The day she won, she decided to transform her jackpot into a pathway for both personal and professional growth. Rather than simply enjoying the newfound wealth, Cynthia immediately put her money to work, first by supporting her family, as she shared portions of her winnings with her brother and father. After that, she invested her money in real estate and business and founded Queen Nefertari Productions LLC. Through these ventures, Cynthia multiplied her fortune and also established herself as a successful businesswoman with a net worth now estimated at $10 million. While Cynthia made smart choices by investing in the most profitable field, these next winners invested in something they were passionate about. Number 12, Elaine and Derek Thompson. Elaine and Derek Thompson really know how to spend their money wisely after winning a lottery jackpot of $3.42 million USD years ago. Elaine still works her shifts at Marks & Spencer, not because she has to, but because she wants to stay grounded. Right after winning, she didn't go on a spending spree. Instead, she gave $1.27 million to her brother and helped her kids get their own places. Elaine isn't the type to forget her roots. She says that she still sticks to her budget at Morrison's and uses that 25% staff discount at M&S. Derek is the same. He kept his job at Motorola for years before they decided to invest in something together, a holiday cottage resort in Dorset. They both decided to invest some of their money into their shared passion as well, which is horse racing. They've transformed it into their full-time hobby. And it's not all about them. They also donate their money. They've been organizing trips to Lapland to donate to kids. Elaine says winning the lottery hasn't changed how people treat her at work, and she likes it that way. It's clear that the Thompson show you can have millions in the bank and still live a life that's true to who you are. There's one other couple like them who didn't think just about themselves. Number 11. Paul and Sue Rosano. Paul and Sue Rosano are proof that sometimes life works out right when you need it. Before winning the lottery, they were just ordinary folks. Paul worked with heavy machinery, and Sue split her time between a research institute and being a stay-at-home mom. But their world changed dramatically when their 2-year-old granddaughter, Michaela, was diagnosed with Krabbe disease. If you don't know, Krabbe disease is a rare and devastating condition. They could only watch helplessly as the disease took Michaela from them. After 5 years, there came a time when the U.S. Powerball jackpot rose to $1.1 million. Paul, who didn't usually play the lottery much, decided to buy a ticket. On the night of the draw, they were at home watching TV when the winning numbers were announced. Paul checked his ticket and couldn't believe it. They'd actually won. At first, Sue thought he was pranking her, but as they went to the office to confirm it, they were surprised to know that they were millionaires now. After choosing the lump sum option, they took home $88 million. But instead of spending all their money on useless things, they spent the money wisely. They didn't move into a mansion or buy flashy cars. Instead, they enjoyed modest treats like a trip to Hawaii and Disneyland with the family. The real focus of their windfall was something much closer to their hearts. They started the Legacy of Angels Foundation in honor of Michaela to support research into Krabbe disease. Thanks to their foundation, progress in understanding and treating the disease has leapt forward. Now, that's a story of using a lottery win for something truly meaningful. This next smart winner did something like this. Number 10. Loren West.
If I'm meant to win it, I'm going to win it no matter how many tickets I buy or, I just let it happen.
Trust the machine.
Yep.
Okay.
Loren West's story changed dramatically in 2018 when she won a whopping $343.5 million in the Powerball jackpot. Before this life-changing event, she was a single mom of 3 who worked at an insurance company. But winning the lottery opened up new avenues for her, especially in philanthropy. One of the first things Loren did with her newfound wealth was donate $500,000 to the Travis Mills Foundation, which helps wounded veterans. That's a big chunk of change, and it was just the beginning. She didn't just stop at donating. She took it a step further by setting up her own charity, the Callum Foundation. This organization backs everything from animal welfare and veteran support to improving health and education systems. Loren's commitment to using her jackpot to support various causes shows she's serious about making a difference. It's clear she views her lottery win as a chance to give back and help others in meaningful ways, just like this next smart winner. Number 9. Les Robbins. In 1993, Les Robbins was a substitute teacher making ends meet on a modest $20,000 per semester. He loved his job and the kids, but let's be honest, the pay wasn't great. Luckily, everything changed when he hit the Powerball jackpot. He won the largest prize in U.S. history at that time. We can only imagine his shock and excitement at that time. After winning, Les split the jackpot with his then-fiancée. Although they've since parted ways, the financial windfall remained with him. With his new riches, Les decided to invest in something close to his heart. He had a passion for working with kids, so he set up Camp Win-A-Lot on 126 acres. He equipped the camp with all sorts of fun stuff: a swimming pool, gym, mini golf course, and even horses for kids to ride. He poured his heart and money into this project, spending almost all his winnings on creating a dream space for kids. Aside from buying a modest Jeep, that's pretty much all Les splurged on. His life after the win was simple as well. He returned to substitute teaching in 2000 by choice, enjoying the role while his camp ran at full capacity. Number 8. Jason Fry. Jason Fry from Florida is the perfect example of a hard-working American. Before hitting the lottery jackpot, he was juggling 3 jobs: pouring concrete, digging wells, and bartending at night. Despite all his hard work, he was struggling financially. He was facing the risk of losing his property and had a second baby on the way. The pressure was too much. Just 3 days before Christmas, perhaps driven by desperation, Jason bought a lottery ticket. That ticket turned out to be worth a life-changing $47 million. Initially, Jason dove into a spending spree. He splurged on a boat, a motorcycle, and a Mustang, and also a house. However, he soon had a change of heart about his financial strategy. Realizing the need for smarter investments, he changed his plans. He started by purchasing a golf driving range, which now brings in about $300,000 a year. He also acquired a Batteries Plus franchise in Fort Myers. This led to buying 3 more stores, which boosted his annual revenue. Today, Jason's smart investments have turned him into a local celebrity, and he continues to grow his earnings, adding to his already substantial lottery savings. Number 7. Robert Sallow. Robert Sallow's story is a perfect example of how a little bit of luck can go a long way. He was living in Brooklyn with a modest family. He always had his sights set on becoming an electrical engineer, but money was tight, and by the time he was 18, it looked like he would have to give up his dream for a more affordable career path. Then a simple $2 scratch-off ticket changed his story. Robert won $1,000 a week for life. In fact, he won a steady paycheck every week without lifting a finger. While it's not the kind of money that makes headlines, it was more than enough for him. This win meant he could actually pay for college himself and study to be an electrical engineer, just like he'd always wanted. This steady stream of cash took the financial pressure off his family, and Robert could focus on his studies. He didn't have to stress about how to pay for tuition or books. His lottery ticket had it covered. And it was smart of him to not throw the cash at unnecessary things, but instead focus on building a career. Number 6. Yancey Hicks. Back in 2010, Yancey Hicks won the Illinois State Lottery, but it wasn't one of those jaw-dropping mega jackpots. He won $1 million, which is definitely not the largest amount, but it's definitely a life changer if used smartly. And that's exactly what Yancey did. Before his win, he'd been working at McDonald's for many years. He'd always dreamt of running his own business someday. Winning the lottery seemed like his ticket to that dream. With his lottery winnings, Yancey invested in his future by buying a Subway restaurant franchise. It turned out to be a smart move. The restaurant thrived and became a solid source of income. Thanks to his wise investment, Yancey transformed his life from an employee to a successful business owner. His story is a perfect example of how even a relatively modest lottery win can pave the way to achieving one's dreams, especially if the money is spent smartly. Number 5. Brian and Mary Losi. After winning a $22 million Powerball jackpot, Brian and Mary Losi became known for their incredible generosity in their hometown of Bondurant, Iowa. Instead of just splurging on luxuries for themselves, they chose to give back in a big way to their community. Their first major act was to pay off their church's mortgage. After that, they donated $3 million to build a new high school stadium and went on to tackle a local necessity by funding a $4.5 million grocery store. This move filled a gap in the community's needs and also earned them deep respect and gratitude from their neighbors. Beyond these amazing contributions, Brian and Mary established a charitable foundation dedicated to supporting a variety of local projects. They focused on improving education, healthcare, and infrastructure because they strongly believed in investing in their community's development. They also set up scholarship funds to help local students afford higher education. Through their actions, the Loseys transformed into local heroes who are still celebrated for their dedication and community spirit. Number 4. Neil Wanless.
My family has been helped by the community, and I intend to repay it that many times over.
In 2009, 23-year-old Neil Wanless was scraping by. He was struggling to make ends meet on his family's ranch in South Dakota. But during a routine errand trip to a nearby town, Neil decided to buy a Powerball ticket. He chose the numbers based on his family members' birthdays. Little did he know, this decision would drastically change his life. Neil joked about winning but didn't actually believe it could happen until he checked the numbers and realized he'd won a $232 million jackpot. As expected, the man was overwhelmed. He took a month to claim his prize. According to him, he used that time to plan wisely with his family. Despite the massive win, Neil didn't have any intention of quitting his job. He loved ranching too much and saw the winnings as a means to enhance his passion rather than abandon it. One of his first moves was to buy a much larger ranch, spanning 23 square miles, for $9.9 million. It was a big upgrade from the trailer he'd been living in after his family home was repossessed. Neil also invested in a new house and generously contributed to his community. However, he valued his privacy and largely stayed out of the public eye. He only emerged briefly in 2020 to sell his expansive ranch because he and his Canadian wife were spending more time in British Columbia and Arizona. Despite his low profile, Neil remains one of the wealthiest individuals in South Dakota. And this is what happens if you invest your money wisely. Number 3. Mark Brudenell. In 1997, Mark Brudenell from Stockton-on-Tees, England, hit the lottery jackpot, winning $1.27 million USD. At the time, he was balancing life as a chemical tanker driver and a manager at a local bakery. Even after becoming a millionaire, Mark didn't rush into spending his money. Instead, he thought strategically about the future. 4 years after his big win, he used the majority of his lottery money to set up his own business. Alongside his wife, Mark has successfully run a double glazing business for the past 13 years. Besides their business, Mark and his wife treated themselves to a comfortable lifestyle upgrade. They purchased a spacious home and several lovely cars. They made sure they enjoyed their newfound wealth without going overboard. This is exactly how it should be done. Number 2. Peter Lavery. Peter Lavery was a bus driver back in 1996 in Ireland. At that time, he was earning just about $300 per paycheck. But the man struck a gold with the UK National Lottery when he won £10.2 million, which is roughly $12.5 million US dollars. The best part was that in the UK, lottery winnings are tax-free, so Peter got to keep every penny. Wasting no time, Peter dove straight into investments. He started with something he was passionate about, whiskey. He teamed up with a distillery to create the Danny Boy blended Irish whiskey, which quickly gained rave reviews. After that, Peter invested in a bunch of different businesses and scooped up real estate left and right. Eventually, he owned 30 properties. Peter also got heavily involved in giving back. He supported several local charities and even started a foundation named after his parents. Due to his clever investments, he has managed to triple his initial winnings. Although he's stepped back from the whiskey business, Peter's smart investments are still making him millions. Number 1. Diana Sampson. The next winner on our list is Diana Sampson, who has quite the story. Once working as a visiting barber to support her 2 children, she now enjoys a much different life. You know how? Because she won a $2 million lottery and invested it wisely. She put money into a lingerie business and a profitable restaurant, both of which have been doing very well. She also bought several houses, including some abroad, which she leases out for a steady income. Despite her newfound wealth, Diana has remained humble and hardworking. Her smart investments have allowed her to live comfortably while continuing to provide for her family. From cutting hair to managing investments, Diana's journey shows how a lottery win, coupled with some wise decisions, can truly transform one's life while staying grounded. If you also have some clever investment ideas, but the only thing holding you back is winning, don't miss our next video. We've shared secret strategies for winning the lottery that actually work, so click on the link and watch it now.